What is going on, you guys? My name is Josh, also known as Harry Tornado, and we are here with episode 4, season 1 of Triple Thrift Podcast. Here with my friends Drew and Joey. And this podcast is all about reselling and YouTube. We don't really talk about YouTube that much. Maybe we should hit YouTube a little bit harder in today's episode, guys. But either way, I'm super excited for episode 4. So far, we have had a ton of fun recording this. We have it on the YouTube channel. It should be available on all podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can get a podcast, you should be able to listen to our podcast. And like I said, we're just having a ton of fun with it. So Joey, let's start with you. How was your week this week?
Dude, my week has been a little stressful, I have to say. The political mail is all done, but we're starting with the Christmas season, the holiday season's coming, so packages are flowing through. But I've been on top of myself about becoming either a full-time reseller, full-time YouTuber, you name it, kind of like you guys. It's been on the fence. And I've been thinking about it like crazy. I'm dreaming about it. It's been a heck of a week. So I'm trying to, keep myself calm and still work. But I've been trying to, just keep calm and just I don't know. I'm just really excited for it, and I just cannot wait to go full time one day. But I'm trying to get in the strides. Like I just got the desk. Let's do an update on that. I just built the desk and I'm so happy I got the brand new one. And the other one had to have been used because there's no way, the no nuts and bolts, like that's insane. So
Yeah.
I got this whole desk. I feel like a professional now. So let's go, baby.
Yeah, getting new stuff is always fun, man. It can be addicting, so don't go overboard. But I saw a picture of your new desk, and it's nice to have nice stuff. I think we talked about that in the last episode or 2 episodes ago. But Drew, how was your week?
What's going on, guys? This is Drew with Profit Monsters, your local reseller. Just kidding. But anyway, my week has been really good. I love reselling so much that I really can't ever have a bad week when I'm living my dream being a full-time reseller and YouTuber.
Rub it in, Drew.
As much as of a YouTuber as I am, I guess I should say. But I just hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube this week.
Hey, man, congrats.
At the beginning of the week, I got my first YouTube paycheck. So it was pretty cool to hit both of those milestones. So thank you to anyone who's listening that watches my YouTube channel or has subscribed or shared my videos. It means the world to me. And hopefully I'll hit 10,000 by next year. So, but anyway, this week's been really good. I actually just got back from a wedding. I went to one of my friends' weddings last night. They got married and then we stayed at a hotel. So we were there for the weekend. I didn't do a whole lot of listing today or yesterday, but before the wedding, because you guys know I'm a hustler, I went to the flea market for a couple hours and loaded up my car with my buddy Dealing with Dalton on Instagram and YouTube. We got quite a big shoe haul, and I got some other stuff, some combo units. I got a Wii for $10 and got some really good deals. So I'm excited to just chat it up with you guys and enjoy another episode.
Yeah, Drew is definitely a hustler. I'm picturing you like at the flea market, you buy something, you list it at the flea market, it sells, and then you go to the public library when like in a part of town you're not even, hey, do you guys have a thermal printer? I just need to print a label real fast. When Drew and Joey came to visit me, they're from Florida. I'm in South Carolina, and Drew was buying stuff at thrift stores here, listing it like immediately and selling it. And he was like, "Hey, can I use your thermal printer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I get." Like he sold and shipped more items while he was here than I did.
I don't think so, but I did make a couple sales.
Dude, it's crazy. I definitely envy your hustle, man. I'll get motivation like burst. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna list, and I'll list 7 things. I'm like, whew, I need to take a break. I don't want to wear myself out here.
I think the same passion that Joey has for like just everything that he does, when you hear Joey talk, like you can just tell how genuine he is in the things that he enjoys to do, like hanging out with his girl or spending time with his family or, being your local mailman. Like he just loves what he does. Mm-hmm. I just have that same passion for reselling, and the fact that I find something for $1 or $2 and I can sell it for a lot of money and then share that knowledge with other people to help them. Like the Porsche jacket, if you follow me on Instagram, I just sold this Porsche racing jacket on Friday. Today's Monday, right? No, today's Sunday. The days are all a blur to me, but um, I paid $4 for it at a garage sale. It had a couple stains on it. I washed it and they still didn't come out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to list it. I couldn't find any other similar comps. And so I just picked a price and was like, you know what? I've sold racing jackets before, and Porsche is a well known brand and it's got a big following. I'm like, you know what? $150. And then within a week, I get the cha-ching that it sold for full price. And I was just like, this is just literally living the dream. Like some people, maybe not Joey because he makes good money as a post office worker, but some people literally work a full shift at their job to make what I made selling one jacket on eBay. So like I'm just so thankful, and it's just why I'm so passionate and why like I have the hustle that I do, because there's just like no greater feeling than knowing that I don't have to clock in and clock out of work, or speak to any boss, or anything like that. And I'm not trying to say this to make Joey feel bad or anything, but you're gonna get there soon, man. Your day's coming.
I said last episode we're just going to keep bullying Joey until he quits his job and becomes a full-time reseller.
I think he's basically at the mountain tip and he's about ready to jump off the mountain.
I really am. It's been really crazy. Like I feel like, I just want to stop working and just literally go full time. Like I look at my eBay room here and I'm just really excited to dig into this death pile and just get it rid of, because I'm really, when I, like you guys said, man, when I talk about things, I go all out. I don't stop. I know this is going to be, a full-time thing for me. And I just love going. Like the other day, I finished my route and I was like a little bit early and I was like, you know what, let me just run into the thrift store for just 10 minutes. It's on the way, back to the office, and I run in there really, really quick. And I find this, it's called a jumbo sequence, like card game. And it's from 1995. It's vintage. And it has like, it's on, like those tubes that you use for like shipping out golf clubs, kind of like a big cylinder thing like that. But it had like the full mat, like a really nice mat inside, and like some coins, I guess like some chips and some cards. And this thing looks brand new. It's from 1995. I bought it for $4 and I could sell it online for, 65 to $70, including the tube. So, I mean, you just think about like what Drew said, like some people don't even make $70 in a shift. You know what I mean? So it's just so humble. I'm just so humble that like I don't even know how to put it into words. Like I can, if I had more time to look in that thrift store, I could have found more things. It's just, you know, being a mailman is awesome. Like I can't thank enough being like a postal worker and being able to bring my packages to work. But just doing that for in a minimal of 10 minutes, just finding that one item, I know I can go to multiple thrift stores and do it full time. Like I know I can. It's just making that jump, And my dad says, I talk to him on the phone all the time while I'm working. I'm like, what do I do, man? He's like, you're too comfortable right now, take the leap of faith. If it goes bad, you can get a job anywhere, you know what I mean? But I just have such a good job that, it's so hard. I'm on the fence, but eventually I'm going to do it, and I just can't wait.
It's definitely a leap of faith for sure, but it's worth every risk you take, I guess, if that's the right term for it. But it's just so worth it when you have that freedom. It's the day you quit Joey is the day you're gonna go from Joey Bada Bing 22 to Super Saiyan Joey Bada Bing 22, because I just know how excited you are right now, and just when you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to um, the thrift, or I mean to your job, then it's going to just be a game changer for you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just the freedom to be able not really to do whatever you want, but like you said, like just to wake up and know that like reselling's on my mind, and just to run into my eBay room and ship out my items, and get ready to go to the thrift store, come home and just literally list everything. That's the type of person I would be if I was full time. and I would never have a death file. Like I would literally just, when I come home, I'm listing the whole entire thing, kind of like Pick and Roll. If you guys know him.
They all say that.
No, I swear, Josh, I am a hustler. Like I really am. I feel like I'm more than Drew.
I
Like
know, man. I can hear it in your voice.
Drew is a very big hustler, and me and him, I feel like we're brothers from another mother. I swear, we look the same. Like it's literally crazy. If you haven't seen us on like Instagram or YouTube or anything, but I really look up to him, and that's how I exactly want to be. But the first thing is like I said on previous episode on the podcast, is to be organized, and that's my next step. I got this desk. So I feel more, for this podcast and for when I do lives, Monday nights, I feel more, feel better. I feel a lot better to be here doing this right now. And once I get that, once I get this done, I'm going to get bins. I'm going to get shelves. I'm going to do the whole 9 yards. I'm going to get ready for, to actually be full time. I just don't want to jump right into it. I want to be actually ready to go. Once I'm ready, I think I'm gonna do it, man. I just think I am.
I got you, bro. I'll help you with everything you need.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm not nervous. Like I know I can do this. Like I have the drive, I have the heart, and especially on YouTube, like that's my passion. YouTube has always been my passion since I'm a little kid. Never knew what to do, and like I found it. eBay has like changed my whole entire life. Like I want to make a YouTube video about this, but last night, um, I actually made a second account for you guys. I don't know if you guys know, but you guys do. But for the people who are listening, I do a lot of sports cards like baseball, football, basketball, and I'm starting a second store for like the cards that are not really worth as much. So like maybe like 99 cents to like $5. And I bought a bunch of top loaders. I'm going to put some cards in there and just start them off like that. And that's how I like, it costs like $10, $20 for a box, but I buy them in bulk. So, just to get those little payments of 99 cents. And if they add up, like, it could pay for the whole box. And then sometimes, I get $400 cards, $300 cards, or I send them into PSA to get graded. So it's another side business that I do, but
Yeah.
I'm just really excited. But what I was trying to say is I started that, second eBay account and I forgot the password. So I guess I logged in too many times on the mobile app and it like locked me out, and it locked me out of my main account too. And I'm like, what is going on? So I contacted eBay off like the text, like the chat or something like that on eBay. Cause I didn't want to call. It was like way too late at night. So I was just like chatting with the person and they really helped me. But I actually gained a subscriber from the lady. I was like, I make YouTube videos, like please help me out. She's like, no way, let me check out your channel. So she subscribed. Her name's Valentina. If you ever listen to this, what's up? But but
I think you're in the right direction. Like you're making steps. You're talking about getting shelves. You're talking about continuing to grow your business now in like the part-time stage to make it easier to make that jump eventually. I think it's only dangerous to well, first of all, you got to think about other people that start businesses. There's people that want to start a landscaping business. And, the Dave Ramsey approach would be to, get a cheap lawnmower for like $40 and cut grass and save your money, and then get another lawnmower, and then get a weed eater, and then get a trailer later on, and then grow it into a landscaping empire. But most people don't do that. Generally, if you want to start a business in the United States, you go out and get a business loan of like $100,000 and you open like, it was so funny. I'll see businesses that open and I'm like, all right, that's going to be closed in a couple months. And I'm always right. Like, it's just, it seems like it's common sense. Like there was an ice cream shop that opened up. Our city is not that big. I live in Columbia, South Carolina. We already have Marble Slab. We have Cold Stone. We have all these really nice ice cream shops. And this one random shop opened up in kind of a bad part of town in like October. And I'm like, what? Like all they sold was ice cream. They didn't have anything else. They didn't have milkshakes or just ice cream. I'm like, what do you think you are going to provide to the customer that they cannot already get at Marble Slab and Cold Stone?
right.
And like, what kind of profit margin, how much ice cream you're gonna have to sell to just pay rent on this? Like their rent was probably at least like $1,200 a month, plus like their other overhead, the ice cream and the employees, And sure enough, within like 3 months even before January, they were already shut down. Same with like seafood restaurants here. Like the last year or so, we've had like 7 seafood restaurants open up, all within like 3 miles of each other. And I'm like, there's not that many people here that like seafood that I know, you know.
Mhm.
And we already have like a bonefish grill, and that's probably like the nicest. And there's one downtown Columbia that's called Blue Marlin that's really good. That's like expensive, but there was one that opened up called Seafood Connection. And every time we passed it, I'm like, Haley, that is the worst name for a seafood restaurant I've ever heard in my life. Like, like what is that? And it was like blue and red, like the most Times New Roman font. It was the most boring looking restaurant I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, that's going to be closed down within 3 months. And sure enough, and we passed it every week on the way to church, and there was never a single car in the parking lot. Never seen a car there, and it shut down. And I'm sure that whoever started that business had to take out a loan to get the new sign that said Seafood Connection and all the, train the employees for 3 months. And there's just so much risk involved with the traditional starting a business model in the United States. But if you want to start a reselling business, like if I didn't have anything at all you'd need is like a computer, a regular printer. You don't even need a thermal printer, just a regular printer to print your labels with like the sticky peel sheets, and like some bins and a shelf, and then your inventory. I mean, you can start a business with you know, probably $250, and start it and just reinvest. You may have to reinvest the first $1,000 to $1,500 in profit to get it really set up, but to be able to start a business that you can like support a family on, like Drew, you're supporting your family on a business that anybody in the world can start for probably $100.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
don't know of another business like that. I don't know of another business that you can start for that little and scale to be such a good source of income.
Yeah, I think there are a few here and there, but some of them do take a little bit of like learning and effort, such as like drop shipping businesses, Amazon affiliate businesses, where you can basically learn how to do it on your computer. And
Hmm.
it literally requires, for some of them, no upfront money unless you're a sucker and you buy a course or something like that. But you can
Well,
watch
what do you
YouTube
think?
videos.
What do you think the turnover is compared to reselling and drop shippers? I don't know a single drop shipper that was successful continuously. A couple of them, like, yeah, I did 30 grand in revenue my first month, and then a bunch of my stuff got returned because it was cheap Chinese knockoffs that were crap products, and they took 12 weeks to get to my customer, and now I'm not doing anything anymore.
I'm not sure of the turnover rate because I personally don't know anybody doing it, but I did try it before I became a reseller.
Hmm.
And I watched a lot of videos of the people who give away the free knowledge about drop shipping. And the thing is that if you want to be a good drop shipper, you have to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads to figure out what works. And that's, I think, the difference. What drew me over to reselling is I didn't have to spend money advertising my product. As long as I was priced competitively, my buyers would find my item if it was an item that was in demand.
Hmm.
So, like for example, when I started reselling, one of the first things I did was sell my old Super Nintendo collection, and I started listing all the games. And one of the games I had was Super Earthbound, and I didn't know at the time that it was such an expensive game for an authentic copy. And I listed it for $150, and it sold within like 10 minutes of listing it for full list price because it was
Are
an
they worth like
authentic.
400 or something?
I think they're worth a lot more now, but at the time, um, they were at least around from my very little reselling knowledge. 150 seemed like a fair price, and I was like freaking out when I sold it.
Yeah, I
So
didn't know if you like had done research at that time, because most people don't even know how to research comps, when they first list an item.
yeah, I had done a little bit of research, but I mean, I honestly would have to go back and look now if it had more value than what it did at the time.
Hmm.
Using WorthPoint or something like that. But either way, I was selling stuff out of my closet, and it was just completely free. And going back to the point of what Josh was saying, is there's just not many businesses out there that you can start up and make money literally with all you have to do is have a phone and download the eBay app or the Poshmark app and sell
Hmm.
clothes out of your closet, and learn the business by even possibly making mistakes with your product or selling it lower. I interviewed Rinzy on my YouTube channel, Ryan and Lindsay, and when they first started, they were selling shoes on Facebook Marketplace, and whether the shoes were $100 shoes or $500 shoes, they were selling every pair for $25 on Facebook Marketplace, and they were just building up an audience of people who knew that they were shoe resellers, but they were selling shoes out of their own closet.
Hmm.
And so you can literally take stuff. I think there was Dave Ramsey actually said it. I think he did some type of, like, not a scientific test, but some type of test with his city where he lived in or something like that when he first started Financial Peace University. And the statistic was like the average household has a minimum of $1,000 to $1,200 worth of stuff that they don't use that can be sold online today.
Yeah.
And so, that just goes to show that even if you're not $1,000, you may have $500 worth of stuff, and that's more than enough money to start with free stuff around your house, and then use that money to continue to grow and build a reselling business. So I think that reselling in general is just an amazing opportunity. Now, it does take a lot of work, effort, hustle, learning, but everything is free. And that's what's great. You can get free boxes from UPS. You can go to Five Below, Dollar Tree, Walmart, and get free cardboard boxes to ship. You can find bubble wrap for free that people give away on Facebook Marketplace. And these are all strategies that I use in my reselling business, where I don't pay for any shipping supplies other than maybe poly mailers, which is $12 for 200. So,
Yeah.
it's just an amazing opportunity for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Joey, you haven't said anything in a while. What you doing?
Just listening. I'm trying to get this knowledge in, because you guys are talking about things that I really don't even, not that I don't really know. I know like a little base of what you guys are talking about. But I'm a completely new reseller, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I think it's, I don't know. So many people overthink businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I broke my lawnmower a couple months ago, and I was trying to find somebody to cut our grass because it was like we needed to cut it at least one more time before winter. And I went up to this guy that was like down the street. He was a landscaper. He was like cutting the grass of the neighbors, and I was like, "Hey, I live right down here, and I broke my lawnmower. Is there anywhere you can come by and cut my grass?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Give me your phone number. I'll call you when I'm done." And I gave him my number, and he never called me. I'm
Really?
like, dude, I'm literally right here. Like, no extra cost to you. You don't even have to turn the lawnmower off. Just come 3 houses down
Yeah.
and cut my grass, and you make extra money. And he didn't call me.
Oh.
And it was a small company. It wasn't a big name brand thing. It was a very small family owned business. And I was wanting to support them, and he didn't call me. And maybe something came up. I don't know. But and I've noticed that there's like everybody in my neighborhood has like their own landscaper, and they're like, I've never seen the same guy cutting the different people's houses.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just like, there's so much opportunity here. Like, some kid came and knocked on our door the other day, and he was like starting a business like delivering firewood. And I took his card. I'm like, I don't really need firewood, but if I do, I'm going to call you. And I appreciate the hustle. Do you guys remember my first yard sale video I made where that guy was just like really talkative? He was talking about his son. His son had like
Yeah.
a small like handyman business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took his card, and I was like, I want to support that guy. I don't know how old he is. He's probably like 18, 19 years old, has a handyman business. And I was just like going around the house, like trying to find something for him to do. And I called him. I was like, hey, we got our garage, our side door to our garage is like the baseboard is kind of rotten. Can you fix that? And he's like, yeah. I was like, great. Also, can you add another, we had him to add another garage door opener door thing, like a button. Because the only one we had was like outside. So if we were like in the kitchen and we wanted to close the garage door at night, we had to go all the way to the other side of the garage to do it. So I got him to do both of those things, and I was like, whatever you want to charge, I'll pay it. Like, I just want to support you. He's like, all right, how about $100? I'm like, dude, like if I called a regular handyman, it'd be $300 for that. So I think I ended up paying like 130 or something. But I love supporting businesses, and I don't understand why there's so many people that just don't try harder, like
Yeah.
hustle, knock on my door. Don't put stuff in my mailbox. That's annoying. But like, just get out there and try to find business. I literally asked that guy, I was like, hey, can cut my grass? I'm right there. I need my grass cut. And he didn't do it. And I'm
Wow.
like, what? Like, business is right there in your hand, man. And it's like that for resellers too. Like, just get out there, list stuff that people want, things that people need. I think a lot of people struggle at first because they're listing, they just don't know what has market value or what the market value of their items are. So they're listing just random collectibles, precious moments figurines that are you know, if they looked up sold comps, they would see that there's 17 of them listed for $12.99 free shipping, and none have sold in the last 90 days. So that's probably not an item that you're gonna want to list. But just, like Drew said, go around, find stuff for your house to list. Once you do make your first sale, put a thank you note inside. Make sure it's packaged well. Once it's said delivered, send the buyer a message. But hey, it says delivered. I packed it really well. I included a little message in there for you. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you got it, and see if there's anything at all I could improve on my process. I forget who it was, but somebody told me that they started asking their buyers if there's anything they can improve of their selling process. And I think that's a great idea. I don't want to talk too much, but one more thing. So there's another business that opened up. It's a Dunkin' Chipotle combo, in the same building. And it's like a mile away from our house. And we were super excited because we love Dunkin' and we love Chipotle. And we went to Dunkin', and it was the worst experience ever. The parking lot and building itself is incredibly small. Like if the drive-through gets longer than 5 cars, it makes the parking lot impossible to maneuver through. So I'm like, okay, immediately whoever owns this building is just in it for the money. Like, it's somebody who doesn't care about customer service. I ordered my wife a bagel or something with no cheese. I told the guy 3 times no cheese, and I was very nice about it, but I said 3 times no cheese. We got it, had cheese on it. Took it inside, and they were just like, they weren't apologetic. I'm like, you guys have been open for 4 days.
Right.
Really, everything should be free. Like, I should be getting Dunkin' Donuts things sent to me in the mail saying, hey, we got a brand new location, come out, your first coffee is on us, we want to make sure our experience is the best we could possibly do it. And people just don't care about that anymore.
Right.
Everybody's just in it for the money. And if that's what you want to do, if you want to start a side business, if you want to start a YouTube channel specifically just for the money, I'll go ahead and save you the time and tell you you're not going to make it.
Exactly. No, that's a straight truth. There's, like you said, there's plenty of businesses out there that just don't care. Let's talk about Chick-fil-A. I mean, you guys,
Yeah.
Josh. I mean, the customer service. If something goes wrong, they're willing. They're literally willing to do anything to make sure that you're going to get your product, and next time too.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
what it is. You just gotta take care of your customer. So many people complain about no, the customer's lying, or this customer tried to scam me. Yeah, they might, but there's no point of wasting your time about it. And I hate it when people immediately assume that just because somebody asked for a return or claims an item is broken, that the customer's lying. Because we talked about in a couple episodes ago that the Chinese restaurant I used to work at, they did that. They automatically assumed the customer was lying anytime they complained. And when you do that, it makes you to be a very schemy business owner. Like, I don't know. You want to find a balance between the angry Chinese couple that thinks everybody's a liar and Amazon that thinks everybody tells the truth, because then you end up with the most highly abused return policy in the history of e-commerce.
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great point because, as resellers or online businesses, there's going to be both sides of that for each situation, for each business owner or reseller. You're going to have situations where people are literally lying to you to get something for free, and you're going to have situations where people are telling the truth. And in most cases, from my experience in doing this for about a year and a half full time, 90% of the time on my business, it's better to just tell the customer, I'm sorry, you can keep the unit, or whatever the example is. Other than, obviously, there's anomalies. Like if somebody buys a pair of shoes and says they don't fit, and you can resell them again, no problem. Take them back and you eat a little bit of shipping costs, but you can still make some money by reselling them. But like a DVD combo unit or something like that, that someone says it doesn't work, if they provide pictures of something broken or something like that, I have absolutely no problem just refunding the money, because those people aren't going to get eBay's discounted shipping, and they're going to go to the post office and they're going to ask the post office to ship it for them and pack it for them, and it's going to cost $32.99 to ship, and then you're
Would you
going
like
to
to
have to
send
eat
an
that cost.
express mail for only
Yeah,
$29 more?
yeah, exactly.
I
So
would love to do that.
So, in most experiences for me with those types of situations, you have to be willing as a reseller to know that this is going to happen. And you have to make sure that you are emotionally and mentally and psychologically able to handle the fact that you will get returns. It's just like, for example, my wife went to uh, bought something for my son on Target's website or something like that, and my son Zeke for the wedding we were just at, and she bought a 12-month outfit, and it turns out it was too small because he's just such a chunky baby. We needed an 18-month, and so what did we do? Well, we returned the 12-month and got the 18-month one. More than likely, Target's not going to just take that, put it on a hanger, and resell it. It's going to go into a Target wholesale box,
Hmm.
that somebody's going to buy. And so returns do happen, and it was a legitimate mistake on our end, but Target's more than happy to take it back. So, when I see even us making those mistakes, knowing that Target is going to eat that loss, whether they're a big company or a small company, um, I have to know that as a reseller, I'm going to have to incur some of those as well, where some people are telling the truth and some people are lying, but it's not worth getting stressed out about or letting those frustrations even into your, mental headspace, because it's so minimal in comparison to how much actual business you're doing, unless you're not describing your products correctly or something, that it's
Hmm.
not worth the headache of trying to fight it. Trust me, when I first started reselling, I would literally decline returns and fight them through PayPal after a buyer left me negative feedback, and then PayPal, they disputed it on PayPal, and I'd be on the phone for hours trying to get my $40 back, because I was so stressed out. And now it's like water off a duck's back, that old saying. I almost don't even care about it anymore. It's like, if I can still make money, send it back and I'll give you your money back. And if you're, lying, well, I pray that, something comes around to you, for doing something wrong to me, like what goes around comes around. And there's really nothing else you can do about it. It's not worth the time.
So, Josh said he wanted to talk about YouTube, so let's talk a little about YouTube. This morning I woke up with a drive to make a YouTube video, and I made a YouTube video, and I mean it's not the best, but I need to put content out there, and I'm really excited to put it out. I haven't put a video out in 1 week. Been just super busy at work. Coming home at like literally, I wake up at like 6 and get home at like 7 or 7:30. So it's just been a stressful week for me. But I woke up with the drive to make a YouTube video, and I love making videos. It's just so much fun. Just I love it. You know what I mean? So how about you
Yeah,
guys?
true.
Oh, me first? Okay. I was trying to be polite because I just talked a bunch.
Me
um,
too. I was like, I'll let you guys go first.
yeah, well, you're the most important because you've got the biggest channel. So I would say, because I am focused so much on making sure that I'm providing for my family, YouTube is kind of almost like a side hustle, if you will, of my reselling business. Like some people, I admire their YouTube hustle. I don't know how they do it. I look at people like Primetime Treasure Hunter and Mountain Man Treasure, and they're putting out a video a day. And I'm like, how on earth do you have time to record, edit, list, ship, spend time with your families, do your other jobs? Because both of them have other jobs, you know? And so, I love making YouTube videos, but I find myself actually struggling to have time to edit because I'm focusing so much on listing and reselling that I would guess you could say YouTube is second for me over my reselling business. And of course, that's because I'm obviously profiting from reselling and I'm barely making any money from YouTube. I do it more for fun and to share my journey and to document it for my future, um, right now than to make money. Eventually, there's obviously a benefit in that. But I do love making videos, but it just seems that, for me, and if I'm just being honest with our listeners, I'm finding it hard to find the content that people want to watch because there's so many resellers out there. It's tough to make the videos that people want to watch when, you put a lot of time and effort into making videos. You obviously want people to enjoy them, but you want to get that engagement as well. So, finding that balance for me is something I'm working on. But I love making the content. Um, I'm a Gary Vee kind of guy. Like I love putting out content, but I'm just not going to put out a video a day right now because I'm making more money reselling than I am on YouTube, which is actually the opposite for Josh. So,
Yeah, I definitely think the hardest part of YouTube is the beginning when you you have to make content consistently to build an audience. But in the beginning, you're not getting that reward of audience participation in your channel. Like, it's easier for me to make videos because I can make a video and it gets, like, right now I think my average views are like 18 to 25,000 per video, something like that.
which is
um,
amazing.
yeah, I mean, I'm super blessed, and it's I premiere all my videos, and I have like audience participation in those, and I get a lot of comments, so that makes it that's the reward for me making videos. But I'm seeing, new content creators. Like, one of my favorite new YouTubers is Brittany over at Essential Endeavors. Have you guys seen her channel?
Yeah, she's awesome. She does a very
Yeah,
good job.
I saw her on your channel with the interview, or when she interviewed you. Which one was
yeah.
it? She interviewed
Well,
you.
she interviewed me, and I'm going to have her on my channel because I love her hustle. She's doing 3 videos a week, and she just got monetized, but she's been consistently uploading videos for 6 months now. So she got, like, I didn't get monetized for like 9 months or so. So she's already monetized faster than me. And her videos are not simple. Like, she does a ton of editing, a ton of cuts, like sound effects and everything. And they're very, very professional. So the fact that I see her putting in the hustle, and without, like, some of her videos do better than others, but for the most part, I mean, I haven't looked at her actual sub count, but I think it's a like 1.4 thousand, like almost 1,500 subs or something like that. So she's getting, maybe 30 comments per video, but um, I don't know, your perspective changes as you grow. Like, if I posted a video and it got 5,000 views and topped out, that would be a terrible video. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, why are people not watching this? But a year ago, if I would have got 5,000 views, I'm like, all right, that video's doing pretty good. That's my number one video. So it all
Yeah.
changes as you grow. Your perspective, like, warps with, your success. But definitely having the audience participation really helps with the motivation. There's nothing more frustrating than putting a ton of time and effort into a video and editing it perfectly and finally uploading it for it to get 25 views and 2 comments. And one of the comments is from, that one person that watches every single video. Maybe it's a family member or a friend or something. It just feels like you're kind of spinning your wheels. And to get through that, the only thing to do is to keep making more videos and keep tweaking things and getting better and seeing what performs well, and then redoing that in a different, color packaging. Um, but yeah, definitely, it's tough in the beginning for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Now
trying
I love.
to
Go ahead.
yeah. I'm trying to learn, how to be a better YouTuber. And I really watch you, Josh, and I just admire, what you do. And I don't know if it's the camera. I don't know what's going on with me, but I psych myself out, and it's like I need it to be perfect, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's so hard to make it perfect right now, just working a full-time job, trying to hang out with my girl, my family, um, you know, reselling, going to Goodwill. It's tough right now. It's just, I feel like I'm putting all my eggs in a basket, and it's been really difficult, and I need to be more consistent. And I was, and now it's just like, it's just really tough. The mail was, at work has just been overloaded. And, now I need to grind no matter what and just keep pushing. And that's where I'm at right now. Go ahead, Drew.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to be patient today because I know I talk a lot, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't cut in.
No, you're good.
Um, yeah, the YouTube thing is it's an interesting aspect and part of my business because like I love making the videos, but I'm definitely no graphic designer or video editor, and I've tried a couple different softwares and things like that, and I find myself like sometimes struggling a bit more than I'd like to with edits and things. Like, obviously, like Tesla Picker, his videos, he's kind of got like the little background things that pop in and stuff, and I just think that those are really clever and creative, and I always think like I need to put those in there, and then I forget to do it, or you know I want to put background music in, but then it's hard to find royalty free music that fits with the theme of your video or something like that. So I try to keep my videos like straight and to the point as far as whatever I'm talking about. I feel like I'm in a position right now with my channel, which, maybe the right direction or the wrong direction, I don't know, but I feel like I'm trying to be more educational with my videos, like showing people what I'm picking up, showing people that I'm listing stuff right away, telling people what I'm selling and how much it's selling for, and versus a little less on the entertainment side and a little bit more on the like teaching instructional side of reselling. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that want to learn, and then there's a lot of people that are just like making these, vlog videos about what they're doing, and there's already a lot of people doing that. So, I don't really feel like that space on YouTube is really needed at the moment. Um,
It's
so I'm trying
finding
to.
it's finding that creativity, and that's what I'm
Right.
learning right now is, it's very, very tough to find, everyone's gonna go to a thrift store, and, I feel like I'm doing the same thing, and I really wanna change that. Even the how-to videos are even just so difficult to do because there's so many of those, but, that's how you build your channel. You have to do how to ship a package, every once in a while, and, oh, how to list an item or something like that, but it's just that grind to put out a video, even just turn on the camera sometimes, um just like I would tell you, Drew, just turn on the camera. I mean, even when you're shipping out your items, but it's just doing it, and just being creative and trying to be different. That's what, I need to learn to do. Because I feel like I'm doing the same thing, and it's not creative. My dad tells me that, and I need that criticism because I want to be, potentially, I want to be the best YouTuber ever. Like that's my goal. But you have to be creative. So
Yeah, for sure. There's a big need, not need, but there's a big difference when you're a content creator that can be creative and do things differently. And I actually have a video that I'm in the process of putting out that I really hope um, changes or helps my channel a little bit, because it's something completely different from what I've done or what I'm doing. And so I'm really excited about it. It's just taking some time to edit because I want it to be good. But I think it's going to be really enjoyable. It is going to be more on the entertaining side than the educational side, which is what I feel like my channel is more based towards. Um, but yeah, so be on the lookout for that somewhat in the next week or two.
you see, like I'm if we put me and you together, we would unite. You know what I mean? So I mean,
I mean, it really depends on your presentation too, because I've seen like even with my channel, like I haven't really done anything groundbreaking with mine. Like I've done, thrift with me videos and shipping videos, and basically the same thing as everybody else is doing. Like my dream deals videos, Tesla Picker was making those videos before I was, and so I mean, I really think a lot of my growth has just been because of the way I present the content, not the
right.
content itself, which you just have to pick the way you want to grow. Like I always like to compare myself to part-time pickers, Matt, because um, we've grown about the same rate, but for completely different reasons. And I've said this so many times, but it's just the perfect example. Like Matt is a great reseller. He's finding things that I've never seen anybody else talk about. And like his wife found that $500 blow up vintage beach ball or something. I'm like, that's nuts, man. That's crazy. And that's people love his channel because of the things he's finding. Whereas me, I'm just finding, oh, I got another pair of Asics tennis shoes today. I'm going to buy them 650 and sell it for $25 free shipping. But people don't, I don't think people follow my channel for like crazy, insane reseller tips. I give very basic tips. I find very basic items most of the time. I just think I focus more on like the entertainment side of reselling YouTube versus the educational. I like to make my videos educational sometimes, but I'm pretty new at reselling. I've only been reselling for like 2 years, so there's plenty of things that I need to learn myself. There's plenty of mistakes I've made that I'm happy to share with my audience, and I think people appreciate that. But I think the majority of my success on YouTube has come from like my video editing and my personality on camera and those types of things rather than the actual content of my videos and my transparency. I think people really appreciate that too.
Yeah, and that's what I admire you the most is your entertainment, and that's how I am too. Like I feel like I'm more on the entertainment side rather than like reselling. I mean, I know completely nothing about reselling. I literally just go to the store and look it up. I mean, that's how simple it is. But I just want to entertain people. I want to make people come from their days of work, and if they're upset, and come to my channel and just smile and just enjoy it. I want to make you laugh. Even on this podcast, I try to do a little joke here and there, but it's just that's the main thing about life. Just having fun, and all I want to do is smile and just have a great day. That's just me personally, and that's why I love YouTube. And it's about you. You know what I mean? Of course, it's about doing the like the reselling and stuff, but I just want to tell people that I love you guys. Like, I just want to grow it more than just reselling. I just want to grow a family with YouTube, and that's personally what I want to do for YouTube.
I think your live listings is going to be something that's really just going to grow over time,
Hmm.
especially now that you've got the desk and stuff too. But and you're upgrading, which I think is awesome. But the live listings is something that really nobody else is doing other than there's one other channel, OBX Picker Eric, who does it like for 6 hours at a time sometimes. And he's a beast when it comes to listing too. But I think you have some, you know, like what you call it, like entertainment value, where Eric's is, probably what I would do is more like focus on listing and just
Yeah.
sharing what I'm listing. And you have like some entertainment value in yours where you do some giveaways or you buy something from someone's eBay store and people make fun of you because you don't list a lot and stuff like that. So, I think you found something there, especially when you can get 50 to 60 people watching you list items on eBay as your channel grows. That's just going to grow and it's going to be really exciting to see. Um, so I enjoy being a part of those.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy doing the interviews, but it wasn't worth my time because I feel like I'd rather list. And I mean, I'm not really listing, but like I really want to. That's the thing. That's what the whole point of it is. But I want to encourage everyone else. Hey, I know it's been a tough week, a weekend or whatever. I want you to come in here and list with me or just listen and just be entertained and just talk about reselling. And that's the whole main thing. Like, I really enjoy interviewing people and that's fun, but I feel like we all know each other. You know what I mean? So that's why I really lean towards doing the listing lives. I just really, really enjoy them. It's for people, just like I said, just to come in and hang out. So
Yeah, anytime I've tried doing just like live videos while I list, and it would be end up being like an hour and a half video where I listed two things because I
right.
just I get caught up in the chat. It's hard to like keep up with the chat and list. Nobody's gonna watch a live video if it's just you listing stuff. You have to, at least acknowledge the people in the chat, and then that just one comment leads to another, and then you haven't listed anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you were just doing a live Q&A the other day, Josh, at like 3 in the afternoon, and I jump in there and there's like 400 people watching, and I'm in the comment section and you're getting super chats, and it was like one of those things where literally every time I would leave a comment to say something in response to something you were sharing or someone else in the comment section, every time I would leave a comment, there was like a super chat right above it or after it, and so then you wouldn't see my comment or read it or something like that. And so I was like strategically waiting to press enter on my comment so that it wasn't going to be around a super chat, or I'd wait for someone to super chat and then wait like 10 seconds and then make my comment post so that you would hopefully see it. And it's just
I
funny
wish
how
there was a
I
better way to do live.
can't imagine trying to keep up with that many.
Yeah, we when I did my live stream the other day about like my eBay account getting suspended, um, it was again like in the middle of the afternoon, like 3 o'clock, and I think we had like 1,200 people in there because people love misery. If your account gets suspended or somebody steals something from you, anytime something bad happens to you, make a YouTube video about it because it's going to be one of your best videos. People love misery.
Yeah.
But that video, somebody said something like, oh, he's only responding to the people that super chat. I'm like, I'm not only responding to them, but of course if somebody sends me a super chat, I'm going to acknowledge them. And if there's so many people sending super chats that I try to look at everybody else, but just with one person trying to read all the chat and acknowledge all the super chats and just keep the conversation going, it's very, very difficult
Yeah,
to
there's no way to see it all, and especially because some people are just in there trolling, or some people are asking questions that you don't want to answer, or it just may not be something that's really on topic, or something, you know, or people that leave comments that say like I saw you actually responded to this one, so we can just talk about that one. Is like someone said, I'm a 14-year-old reseller. Can you subscribe to my channel? And like
I was like,
literally
nope.
you read the comment and you're like, no, I won't subscribe to your channel, and here's why. But I like that you explained it versus just saying no, but I think that it was also kind of interesting to just see you say no versus, oh yeah, sure, I'll go subscribe to your channel.
Yeah.
But you
Everybody's
told
like,
me,
I thought Harry Tornado was a nice guy. This is a little girl. I'm like, yeah, it's the same. Like that guy that kid that messaged all three of us asking for shout outs on Instagram.
yeah, and
I'm like,
Joey did it.
so for the people listening to the podcast, if you didn't see my live stream the other day, this girl asked me to subscribe to her channel. Didn't like, I've never seen her channel. She's 14. Just that's what she said. She's like, I'm 14. Can you subscribe? And first of all, I hate when people say like give a reason for like some dumb reason, like just her age, like that's why you should subscribe. Like YouTube is like the purest form of capitalism. Like nobody cares about you. They only that people want something. People are going to watch your YouTube videos because of what they get from it, not because they, I guess maybe they watch it because they like you, but they like you, then that's like giving them entertainment watching you. But you're never going to build an engaging audience off of just like pity. Like I'm 14, you should subscribe to me just because I'm young, and there's not that many young people in here. Like I appreciate your hustle of wanting to start a YouTube channel, but you've got to put in the work. I'm not just gonna, that kid. I'm not just gonna give you a shout out on Instagram just because you're young. Somebody sent me an offer the other day, and it was like, I don't know what they said. Something like maybe it wasn't even me. Maybe I saw it on Instagram, but somebody's like, I please accept my offer. My husband is disabled. I'm like, what? I'm sorry that your husband is disabled. Like, I understand the situation, but I'm running a business. You're not going to go into Walmart and be like, excuse me, can I get a discount on this dog food because my husband is disabled? I need a discount on this hair dryer because my daughter, blah, blah, blah. Like other businesses don't accept your excuses for your life. I'm trying not to be mean here, but I'm trying to be mean in a helpful way. Like
Yeah.
stop. Like nobody's gonna shout you out because you're young. Nobody's gonna like when I got a lot of shout outs in the beginning of my YouTube channel, but not for free. I realized, listening to Gary Vee, people don't care about you. Nobody's gonna give you a shout out. Like, oh, shout me out and I'll shout you out. I'm like, okay, well, you have 30,000 subscribers and I have 4. So what would a shout out on my channel do for you? Um,
Yeah, for
so
sure. And I think I can relate to that exact same thing, except on my Instagram, because I guess you could say I'm more of an influencer right now on Instagram than I am on YouTube, because I have more followers and I have a lot more engagement on Instagram as I'm
mhm.
growing my YouTube. But like it never fails how many times I go to the bins or I go to a thrift store or somewhere and I find something and I put it on my story, and people that are also resellers but want that item that I have say, yo, how much for that? And I could give you example after example, literally right now in my DMs, people going, yo, how much do you want for that? Like I'll give one example, a polo Ralph Lauren camouflage hat I found at a thrift store the other day. It's like a rare hat, I guess. And so I paid, I think, $1 or $2 for it at the thrift store, and I put it on my story, and it's a rare hat. For some reason this hat is selling for like between $50 to $70 on eBay. So I listed mine for $69.99, and someone slid into my Instagram DMs and goes, yo, I need that hat, how much? And I said, I'm asking 55 shipped on Instagram, which is cheaper than what I listed it for on eBay, you know.
Mhm.
And the guy's response was like, you know dang, you're really taxing on that thing. I'll pass. And I'm like, well, no, the comps are actually showing between 50 to 70. So I feel like 55 shipped is pretty fair. If you want to make me an offer, I'm open to offers. Honestly, if you would have offered anything over around 40, I probably would have accepted it just
Mhm.
because it would have saved me on fees and listing and stuff like that. But the fact that people do that all the time, like you think I'm going to sell you a $70 hat for $10 just because you follow me on Instagram,
Yeah.
I still have to make money on the stuff that I'm thrifting. And then on the other side of it, I had this kid who was really nice today. I post on my Instagram story some like USPS shirts that I still had that got at the bins, and I never listed them because I was always trying to sell them in a bundle, and I didn't have any luck. So I posted them on my Instagram story saying 70 shipped for all of them, and then some kid got into my Instagram and was like, "Hey, how much for just this one orange one?" And I was like, well, I'm not really looking to separate them, so tell me what you're willing to pay. And he said, how about $20 free shipping? And I said, sold, sir. You know,
Hmm.
it was 6 shirts for 70 and he offered 20 for one of them.
Yeah.
So, and I sold it to him and he was really nice and he made me a fair offer and we made a great deal and I'm super happy about it. You know,
It's so when I used to work at Chick-fil-A, one of their things they taught us was that our goal for like customer service was to create raving fans. And one of the qualifications of a raving fan was that they come often and they pay full price. Like you don't want like if you've got a band and you have like five fans like starting out the band and they don't want to pay to get into your show. They're like, "Oh, I'll come to your show on Saturday night if you give me a free ticket." Like a band is never going to grow that way. The venues are not going to want to host bands that don't sell any tickets. So
yeah,
my biggest thing in life was like, I'm just going to go all out. If I see somebody that starts a business and I want to support them, I'm going to pay full price. I hate it when people like, it doesn't really happen to me often, but I see it all the time on Instagram and in public. People are like, oh, my friend owns this kind of store, so she can probably give me a good deal. I'm like, no, your friend owns a store, and that's how she makes money to feed her family. You should pay extra, honestly. Like my friend Melissa owns an at-home bakery. Like she doesn't have an actual store. She just like does stuff to order. And I buy from her all the time. That's probably why I've gained a little bit of weight recently. But I at least pay full price. Occasionally, sometimes I'll like give her an extra $5, just like bunch. And she always never wants to take it. She's like, no, 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 no. So now, like, if I want to give her extra money, I'll just like ball it up with a bunch of ones. I'm like, here you go. I'll see you later. But like you don't want people are in your like coming to your business all the time begging for discounts and like, oh, you know me, so you should just give it to me for free. Like some people ask for stuff for free, I'm like,
Yeah.
the
that's
scooter
not.
shop, my scooter and motorcycle shop that I owned for 5 years before I became a reseller was the definition of what you just said. And on top of that, it's because 95% of my clientele were people who can't afford a car, or people who don't want to pay insurance because, they don't have a lot of money. So I already have people that are buying cheap transportation to begin with. And I hope this doesn't come across as rude or judgmental to these people because there's nothing wrong with being economical or saving money. But then those people would come in and want an oil change or need a new headlight bulb, or something. And, normally at any motorcycle shop or a repair store, no matter what the labor is, it's a minimum of an hour labor. And
Mhm.
in our business model was like, okay, if it takes 10 minutes to change a headlight bulb, I'll charge a half hour labor and be nice to the customer. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't do it for free. You can buy the bulb and do it yourself. So,
Yeah.
I would charge a half hour of labor versus an hour of labor and try to save my customers money. And they're like, oh, come on, you're going to charge me $32.50. I'm like, well, I mean, how do you expect me to keep my lights on so I can change your headlight bulb if people like you don't pay for it? You
Right.
Yeah.
know, and like I understand that, you know, that $32 may sound like a lot, but in the motorcycle world, an hour of labor is our hour of labor was $65 and my competition was the Yamaha dealership and they charged $105 an hour, and whether even if they were just doing a diagnostic on your bike, you had to pay an hour labor. So we were half the price, and people still complained all the time. And I'm like,
It's
well,
just it's preposterous that you would make a profit as a business owner.
What a
That's
beautiful
what
word. Can you say that
that's
again?
what people think, man. Like there's so many people that think that, oh, Jeff Bezos, he should never make that much money. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's more money than any single person could ever spend in 1,000 lifetimes. But the dude invented Amazon,
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you invent
absolutely.
a company like that that is used by pretty much every single member of society almost on a daily basis, then yeah, you deserve to have that much money. It's that yeah, I love capitalism, dude. Like you create something that people like, you should be able to make as much money as you can. Like, they're
I
not
mean,
doing
that's
anything.
the goal. That's absolutely the goal. We're just as resellers doing it on a smaller scale. You know what I
And
mean?
then
Like,
people look at us like it's one thing to think about Jeff Bezos and his wealth. Dude doesn't need any money anymore. But people that look at small motorcycle repair shops and like, oh, you $32 to change a light bulb. I'm like, yeah. That look at it the reverse. If you just learned how to change your own light bulb, you could save yourself $32.
Mhm.
right. And I honestly, I tried to tell people so many times at my business, like, hey, you can save money if you do this by yourself, or a quart of oil is $10.99 for, super synthetic scooter motorcycle oil, and I have no problem selling you the oil. The change is super easy. There's no filter. You have to change. You just drain the oil and you put new stuff in. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, that'll be $29.99. Oh, I can get my car changed for that. And that's 5 quarts of oil. I'm like, well, car oil, non-synthetic basic oil is cheaper because they get it in higher bulks than I do as a scooter motorcycle shop. And that's just supply and demand for any business model. And it never failed to see that business. Like, you have your generous people that would literally come, they'd get their oil changed and then they'd leave me a $10 or $20 tip and say, hey, go buy yourself lunch today, because they're just happy customers. And then you have customers in there that are like, I would literally work on their scooter and replace an engine or something, and it was a good customer, so I would try to cut them a break here or there, where it'd be like a $150 job, and I'd be like, you know what, I'll do it for 120, and help you out because you're a good customer. You always get your oil changes here. And then, it goes salty, and they're like, well, I don't have $120. And I say, well, you don't get your scooter back because you agreed for me to fix your scooter before I did this. And I told you the price. You didn't tell me the price. Yes, I did. It's right here on the quote that I gave you before you signed your work order. I had one lady take me to court because of that, and they obviously lost, but someone took me to court and accused me of blowing up their engine and then overcharging for a new engine because they didn't want to pay for it. And then they had to pay my court costs to try to sue me.
That's so terrible.
So I'm very happy, needless to say, I'm not in that business anymore. So it was a good learning experience, but I'm happy that I don't do it anymore.
So you would rather take returns, right?
Absolutely. I would take a return.
That's what we're talking about here. Throughout all of these terrible experiences, reselling is by far the best. Just take the return, give them their money back.
Absolutely. And the fact that you don't have to even deal with someone face to face. Like, I had someone call the cops on me one time, and the police officer came in and laughed at me and said, or not laughed at me, laughed at the customer and told me, push this person's scooter on the sidewalk outside of the property that you work on and leave it there. And if the customer doesn't want to push it home, then it can get stolen. And if they want to take it, they can push it home, because this person literally accused me of taking the entire wiring harness off their bike and changing it with a different one because it had electrical tape on it or something. And I did not do that. Wiring harnesses at certain parts have electrical tape from the factory because it's a Chinese scooter to hold them together after they weld the wires together or solder the wires together. I'm sorry.
I'm learning so much. I can open up my own scooter shop.
You really could. And the fact that you just don't have to deal with these people in person, when you deal with a return, like, someone can leave you a really mean message, and at the end of the day, it's literally just a message. But when somebody's in your face, yelling at you, cussing at you, calling you a horrible person, calling you a scammer, threatening your life over, a $30 oil change or something, you just go, this business is not worth my life, and when, then I've had the other sides of it where people stole stuff from me. And having, an eBay business, nobody can steal from you. Being an online reseller, nobody can steal from you. Where somebody would walk into my business and, I was in the back fixing a scooter for a customer, and somebody walked in, took a hoverboard, a couple years ago when those were popular, stole it right off the ground, threw it in their truck and drove away. Luckily they got caught, but just the fact that people have no regard for anybody else's hard work. It's just like what you said earlier, Josh, about Amazon. People buy stuff on Amazon, use it, and then return it like there was something wrong with it, and Amazon just accepts it. But when you're a brick and mortar store, it's a little bit different because you rely on these people to pay your bills. And then the fact that somebody would steal from me after they had already come in and bought something from me, and while they were waiting for me to get the part out of the back, they stole something and threw it in their truck, just blows my mind. So I'm happy to be out of that business. It was a great learning experience, but never again will I go into a business like that.
I don't blame you. Guys, we are at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 30 seconds. Joey, you haven't said anything in a while, so I'm going to let you sign us off here.
So this was a great podcast.
why don't you sign us off with your best sale of the week?
The best sale of the week. If you guys don't know Emily Conway on YouTube or Instagram or even on TikTok now, she is awesome and she talks about Furbies all the time. And I found this Furby at Goodwill for about $4, and it's like a Bluetooth one. And you put like 4 batteries in it, and like the eyes glow up. And like I put batteries in it, and the first thing it said was, I want some pizza. I was like, okay, taking the batteries out. This is weird. So I took the batteries out, but I sold it for $34.99 full price and shipping. So that was an awesome sale for me.
Well, great. Congratulations.
Yep. How about you, Josh?
Let's see, the best sale this week. I don't know if it's the best, but I sold. So a couple years ago, I found this map at Goodwill. It was in a frame. It looked really old, and it was like $12. And it was a map of the Western Hemisphere, so like North and South America. And I bought it. It was like $12. Bought it, took it home, and found like a date at the bottom. It was like 1895 or something. And I had it unofficially appraised. Like I sent a picture of it to like this guy in my town that like knows maps, and he said it was a Herman Mole map. And he said it should be worth like $600 to $900. I was like, okay, cool. And I wasn't even reselling at the time, so I was like, oh my gosh, like $12 into 600, like that's crazy. But of course, that was just an estimate. So I listed it. It was like the 5th thing I ever listed on eBay. It's been listed for like a year and a half, or even longer than that. And I actually sold it one time before for like 120, and it got returned. The guy just like, I don't like it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I relisted it for 100, and it's been sitting in my store for like a year or so. And I finally got an offer of $75. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Turn a 12 into 75. Really cool map. Like I really like it. And it wasn't in a frame. I just took it out of the frame and sold it as the rolled up thing. So sold for $75, free shipping. And I hope whoever bought it, I think it was a viewer that bought it. So viewer that bought the map, if you're listening to this, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it.
Love you so much.
Love you so much. Okay, so I think it was last week after we ended the podcast, we still talked to each other a little bit on here, and we were like, okay, all right, guys, I love you so much, I gotta go. And Joey was like, yeah, I love you too. And Drew was like, I love you guys so much. And I was like, I love you guys.
Oh man,
we are just three amigos of reselling. We love each other so much.
That's right.
So I guess we'll sign it off. So I appreciate you guys listening on in. If you guys haven't checked our other episodes out, we have 1, 2, and 3 ready to go for you guys. So I appreciate you guys listening on in on the Triple Thrift podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.